Welcome to the Bodcast episode 5. Today we're joined by the incredible Winnie Okoth. Winnie is an Olympic weightlifter and CrossFitter. She has competed at the Commonwealth Games and the Arnold Classic in South Africa. She is an inspiration, mentor, and coach to many, challenging fitness stereotypes in Kenya and helping to build a high level of professionalism in our health and fitness industry here. Welcome to the podcast, Winnie.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I really like that I have this platform to actually pass my message out there and just educate people more on fitness. Yeah, no,
we're so excited when you agreed to come on, and I mean, you've known Leon for a while, but I think
yes,
in Arnold.
No, you.
We met at the.
Yeah, it was before.
Not fitness was. Yeah, actually,
it was before. I think.
Yeah, it was way before. In Leon, we met in, was it 2015 when you guys came to have a look at CrossFit Kwetu?
Yeah, when they first opened and you guys were trying to convert me to CrossFit, but no.
Yeah.
It was then. CrossFit was, I'd say, new to.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. We went there to check it out. I used to work at Trojan still. So yeah, about 2015. Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, that's when we met.
You guys go way back.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So Winnie, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, sort of what you do now, where you work, and then what got you into what you do now?
Okay, so I am Winnie Okoth. And at the moment, I'm a CrossFit coach, actually head coach at AlphaFit, and also an Olympic weightlifting athlete. I've been in this industry for almost 6 years now. And I started off with CrossFit that led me to Olympic weightlifting, that made me become an international athlete. That's basically because of CrossFit. And right now, my focus is mostly on coaching, and I'm taking a break on the competitions, but I'll be back soon. But for now, I really want to just focus more on coaching and increase my knowledge in the fitness industry. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize you started with CrossFit. I don't know. I always thought that the weightlifting came first.
Before CrossFit.
No, I didn't even know about weightlifting. If it wasn't for CrossFit, I had no idea about weightlifting. So it was through CrossFit that I was able to know that, oh, wow, there's something called weightlifting and that I could compete in it. So it was because of CrossFit.
Yeah, I think that leads us to an important point before we go further. Like, what is weightlifting? Because we've got powerlifting, we've got bodybuilding, we've got Olympic weightlifting. I think listeners would probably appreciate a kind of breakdown of what it is.
Yeah, because everyone assumes.
All right. So basically, we actually have lots of people are confusing those sports. And Olympic weightlifting just involves 2 main movements. That's a clean and jerk and a snatch. So whenever you see people training for clean and jerk and a snatch, just know that that's Olympic weightlifting, just those 2 movements. But those movements are based on this other movements like squats, deadlifts, but that's not what we compete in. We just compete in those 2 movements.
That's okay. Well, that was actually news to me. I didn't realize it was just the 2. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, I mean, powerlifting is 3, right? It's
the squat, bench, deadlift.
Okay.
And then CrossFit, like, say, what would be the difference between, say, CrossFit and weightlifting? Because I know weightlifting is part of CrossFit, but
weightlifting. So CrossFit has 3 modalities. It has the metabolic conditioning, then it has gymnastics, and then it has weightlifting. So weightlifting is put into CrossFit. Yeah, so sometimes we do it for load, sometimes we do it for like endurance.
Yeah.
So it's quite,
Yeah, because I think a lot of people confuse, they assume just because you lift weight, you're, a weightlifter. And
exactly.
And in real sense, weightlifting its own sort of career and sport. And
And I get to ask people when they say they're weightlifters, I'm like, so do you snatch?
Yeah.
And they're like, what is that? I'm like, if you say you're a weightlifter, then you should be able to snatch and do clean and jerk.
Yeah, and I mean those are highly complex moves, and
very
I mean, and an Olympic sport.
Yes, it is an Olympic sport. Yeah.
And so, what got you into CrossFit?
So the fact that it's a very competitive sport, and I'm very competitive. So I was like, you know what? I want to do this. I want to kick everyone's ass when I walk into the gym or when I'm doing this. So that's actually what motivated me. But the most important thing was the fact that I was able to see people perform all these movements that I didn't think that they were possible. And I really wanted to learn and be able to be like them.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, CrossFit is incredible. I mean, because you've got those three components, like the gymnastics part, that's
Yes.
mind-boggling.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So yeah, CrossFit was quite new back then. I mean, that was, I guess so that was what, 2014, 2015?
Yes, 2014. We actually started officially in 2014.
Yeah, it was,
Okay.
it was very new here.
Yeah.
Not many. I myself had heard of CrossFit and CrossFit games.
Yeah.
Just watching on TV, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, guys are just beasting weights, and I'm like,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, what is this?
That's now why I went to CrossFit Kwetu.
So it was only CrossFit Kwetu then, wasn't it? There wasn't.
Yeah, it was the only one. Yeah. When we started off just in a regular gym. We rented out their studio, like the dance studio.
Yeah.
That's where we used to do the CrossFit. And it was just like bodyweight stuff. It wasn't serious CrossFit, but we'd actually started learning about CrossFit.
So were you, what would I say, a student then, or had you qualified as a CrossFit coach?
I was still a student then. I was a student in Kenyatta University. I was still doing my sports management degree. And that's when I started doing like the CrossFit. I was interning. I was doing CrossFit as an intern. So that's when I started in 2014.
Okay. And then when did you become are you a level 1 coach?
Yes, I am. I did my level 1 in 2016.
Okay.
It took me a while. It took me a while in CrossFit. I needed to really understand about CrossFit before I could actually go and do level 1. Because most people think that you can just wake up and go do it. So I had to understand what the concept was all about. And then so from 2014, I did my level 1 in CrossFit in 2016.
Yeah, because I think that's what I really like about CrossFit is like to get a qualification, it's no joke. You can't get it here. You've got to go to SA or
Dubai.
For us.
Yeah.
And so the level of CrossFit coaching here is I say really high.
I think makes the competency very high because you just can't walk into a gym and decide, okay, I'll do 3 snatches and call myself a CrossFit coach. So
yeah,
you can't.
Because it's a bit of a problem here. So it's nice that CrossFit has that professionalism going for them.
Yes, that's true. That's what I love about it.
And then, so from CrossFit, you kind of went into the weightlifting. What was it that drew you to that?
The fact, what really made me stick to weightlifting is the fact that people used to look at me and be like, nah, I don't think you can lift. And then I go and snatch and they're like, what? You don't even look like you can lift, Most of the time when you meet weightlifters, you can't tell they actually can lift that heavy. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that's what really drew me to weightlifting.
You like that shock factor?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, well, I must say it is impressive because I mean, you look strong. You do look strong, but I know there's a lot of people do say that, you can be lifting heavy weights and not necessarily look strong. So that must be really satisfying when you got, people looking at you, loading the bar, thinking,
yeah,
what is she gonna do with that?
It's true. Yeah.
That's why whenever you go to any new gym, go with a hoodie. That's the
so that people can recognize you. The best thing about it as well is the fact that it's measurable. With weightlifting, they look at your body weight and what you're able to do. So at least it encourages you. You're not put out with like people who are heavier than you, then it discourages you. So there's a bit of motivation in it as well.
Yeah. And the weightlifting is highly technical. So I mean, you'd obviously learned it in CrossFit, but to get to that next level, did you have a coach, or how did that happen?
It was a little bit challenging. I used to get help from I'd look for different coaches, especially international. So you just look for advice from different people to help you and guide you, because not so many people around here are so knowledgeable when it comes to, especially technique, because
Yeah.
weightlifting is more to do with technique. If you don't have the right form, then your performance is going to be really low, and you get a lot of injuries from that. So I used to get help from like international coaches and also just people training with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll also like study, like go do my level 1, 2. So it would actually help with that as well.
Yeah. So you are a weightlifting coach as well. So when did you become a weightlifting coach?
So I became a weightlifting coach in 2015. That's when I got my level 2 for the weightlifting. Yeah. So I started with level 1 and then level 2. I actually got my certification before the CrossFit level 1
Okay,
for weightlifting.
interesting.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, to do that, can you take us through the process? Was it through an online body? Did you have to go somewhere for an exam? How does it work?
So when you're actually, what I liked about this is the fact that when you're in the team, the Kenya team, the federation actually offers you that resource. So you get the resources for becoming a coach. So they invite like the International Weightlifting Federation coaches, then they come take you through the process for a week and then they certify you.
Okay,
Oh, nice.
I had no idea. So, I mean,
The first
that sounds like,
first time we've had any government sports body helping.
yeah.
Yeah, they actually do that. They do that.
So that's actually very eye-opening. So would you say they were, I mean, they're good. It's a good federation here.
When it comes to the coaching resources, yes. But as any other sports in Kenya, yeah, we all have our challenges, and yeah, we have our challenges in the federation.
Yeah, no, I mean, when we were talking to Walter about
Yeah.
the sprinting and everything, and I mean his stories were just, I mean, it was so sad because there's so much potential here, and I'm sure with weightlifting as well, that it must be quite frustrating at times.
It is. It's actually so frustrating that sometimes that's why I'm like taking a break, because mentally it was just tough for me, and I just couldn't keep my focus, and that's why I decided I'm going to take a break, focus on coaching and empowering women also in sports. So that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah, I love that. And so the Kenyan weightlifting team, I mean, is it big? I mean, how many are there of you, and where have you competed? You could tell us about your experiences competing.
Okay, so I'll start with how big the team is. It's not that big because the sports is not well known. So we're really struggling with that. It's just a few people who know about weightlifting. So we are trying to actually spread it across the counties in Kenya. And then I have competed in so many sports. I will start with the Olympic qualifiers in 2016. I did that in Cameroon. And then 2017, I did the Commonwealth qualifiers. And then in 2018, I did the Commonwealth Games. And then I've done the African Championships, which I won bronze. And then I've done Arnold Classic, where I was with Leon. I got silver. Yeah, so we were also in Morocco for the All Africa Games. I was in Egypt for the Olympic qualifiers. Before Corona, we were supposed to go for Mauritius. Yeah, so I would say Olympic weightlifting has been a blessing to me.
Wow, wow, you've been all over.
Yeah, yeah.
Quite a resume. And I mean, is that the government paying, or is that you also?
Yes. Yeah. So whenever we have international competitions, the government actually caters for everything. It caters for transport, because you're also supposed to pay the International Weightlifting Federation to take part.
Yeah.
But I had an incident in Egypt where the government said it didn't have money. So I had to fund my competition.
Whoa.
Yeah. So sometimes it happens that you have to fund your own competition. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. At least it's one out of the many. Because
I know, right? Yeah.
yeah, for some sports, it's like you're on your own. So
Yeah.
That's good for
Well,
the
I mean,
weightlifting
it is
federation,
because it
man.
is, like you say, quite an obscure sport here.
Yeah,
It's
for
still
it to
young.
get,
For the government to be actually,
it's really
that's yes, small start.
that's more support than some very well-known
Well,
sports.
bodybuilding, you don't get anything.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When
That's true.
you're
That's
pretty much on your own, as
Yeah.
they fight for whatever seats they're fighting for.
yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So when you train for a competition with your weightlifting, I mean,
Mhm.
can you take us through your regime and your nutrition?
Okay. So I usually have someone who takes care of my nutrition. That is my husband at the moment. So he does because I don't like to
Lovely.
think a lot. I like to focusing on one thing.
Yeah.
So he'll do my nutrition, just make sure that I get all the nutrients that I need and my recovery is at point. So if it's my protein, my carbs, like everything has to be on point. And then I train twice a day before my competition, leading up to my competition. So I'll train in the morning and I'll train in the evening. And also when I'm just doing the weightlifting competition, no CrossFit. It's just weightlifting. Yeah, like when it's also just part of life. If you want to be good at something, you have to focus on one thing first. You can't be all over the place. So that's why I just focus on weightlifting until I'm done with my competitions. Then I can go back to CrossFit.
And with the nutrition, do you track calories and macros, or I mean, is it that strict?
Not really, because with weightlifters, we just have to eat. We just have to make sure that we fuel the body. we don't count macros and micros. So when I see you guys count, I'm like, oh, so much work. Yeah, so I don't count them.
No,
But
you're
you've got to make a weight
lucky.
limit, don't you? A weight class.
Yes, that is if you're struggling with weight. I've never struggled with weight ever since I started weightlifting.
Yeah, but I'm sure he does that for you because he is also very meticulous.
Yeah, he's very strict, but
So
he knows.
all you're doing is eating. You just say, I need to lose 2 kilos. You're like, sour.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Eat.
Yeah, but the thing is like with me, I've never gotten to a point where I want to lose weight. I've tried to add weight, and what I did was just up my intake.
Yeah.
The food, the portion. Yeah, because I needed to add 2 kgs, and it's so hard adding weight than losing weight.
But
It's really hard.
And also with you guys, you're doing your conditioning, you're doing weightlifting, you're doing, with CrossFit, then you're coaching. You need,
Yeah.
You need a lot. Yeah.
I'm always eating. Like guys are complaining in the gym. When they come to the gym, I'm always eating something.
No, your energy expenditure
it
is
must be so high.
Yeah, that's true.
And so when you were training twice a day, how long were your sessions?
So my session is 1.5. So 30 minutes I spend on mobility and just warming up. I really am very keen when it comes to warming up. So 30 minutes of warming up and then 1 hour of just training.
Yeah. And I guess you've got to really, like you said before, because the risk of injury is quite high, spending that half an hour on mobility is key.
Yes, that's the key to everything.
Yeah, because weightlifting is you really
you need good mobility. I mean,
because just picturing the movements in my head, and if your mobility is off, there's very far you can go in weightlifting.
That's quite true. That's quite true.
And have you ever suffered an injury?
Oh yes, so many times. So when I started weightlifting, remember when I said I didn't have a coach and I was looking for critics from all over?
Yeah.
My technique was so bad. And I had cheerleaders. I just had people cheering me on and saying like, oh, you're lifting heavy, keep going. No one was there to correct my form. And also I would just lift heavy. I've had back injuries like twice. And the disc bulge, it would like pinch on my sciatica. So I've had that for like I had one in 2016 and then one in 2017. So yeah, but since then, when I decided, you know what, I need to put my ego down, forget about the cheerleaders, work on my form, I've never had such an incident since then.
Wow, well, it just shows that ego lifting never works, and working on technique and spending that extra time on mobility for your longevity is essential.
Yes. Yeah. And also just understanding your body. Because you know, when you start and you don't have proper guidance, you don't even know like what to do or how your body works, or even how your anatomy is going to translate to how you lift. So things like that, if you get proper guidance from the start, I'd say it's actually quite interesting.
Yeah, and I mean that is so hard for you, like there without having a coach from the start, especially with something so technical. I mean that it, I mean it's amazing what you've achieved.
Yeah. And you know, you might find people who try to be coaches, who think they know,
Yeah.
and then they misguide you. They have good intentions, yes, but they're not that knowledgeable, and all they want to see is just you lifting heavy.
Yeah.
So you're better off finding someone who understands the sports.
Oh yeah, 100%. And what kind of weights are you lifting? Like what are your best personal bests?
Okay, so with a clean and jerk, it's currently at 100 kilos.
Oh,
And then my snatch is at 83 kilos.
that's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. Wow.
Yeah. Right.
I'll just let that sink in for a bit.
I can't see
Wow.
myself having 80 kilos above my head.
That's I mean
We tried, and the most I
Oh
got.
yeah, I remember.
The moment the weight gets up, man.
I mean that's the fear factor.
Yeah,
though,
I'm like,
that's a fear factor.
80 kilos, not happening.
Yeah, but it took me a while. You know, you just have to practice and get used to it, and tell yourself, you know what, you can do this, you can do this. You have to convince your mind, because weightlifting is all mental. Once you conquer your mind, then you're able to like at least push yourself to that limit.
Yeah, big time. And I mean, big dudes don't have the best shoulder mobility,
Mine
but
is-
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, mine was
like,
bad, but now
when
it's
you
good, man.
watch Winnie do the moves, it's just it's graceful, it's
Yeah.
beautiful. You're like,
Yeah.
when we watch you do squats and things on Instagram, you're like, this form.
Yeah,
It's
if I
beautiful.
tried weightlifting now, it look like it would be funny. It would be on those gym.
You'll be on the gym memes,
funny
like
memes. Yeah.
But you can start slowly. You can start with the broomstick and then move over to like a lighter barbell.
Yeah, it's just weight above my head. I don't know if it's a fear or
That's scary. Yeah.
I know I can't see it once it passes my eye.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, like when you said you start with your broomstick, you just got to be patient. I think
Yes.
that's a lot of patience, because you can't go from 0 to 83 kilos, you know, just slowly to build that up.
Yeah.
But that is incredible. I have so much admiration and respect for that sport. I think
It is.
it's just, I love watching it. I think it's amazing and so empowering. I mean, I love that whole side about you, and showing women that they can lift heavy. I remember when we met at Cheza.
Yeah.
Whenever that
Yeah,
was.
the Cheza expert.
And just seeing you in person, you're so positive. And so tell us more about that kind of side of your coaching and everything, your message that you want to get out there.
It's, you know, I love so much about coaching. Like with coaching, when I see where people start from and how they're progressing and how good they become at something, that really, really just motivates me and keeps me going. So that's what I look forward to in the morning when I wake up. And I'm like, you know what, today I just want to see someone move from point A to point B. And then that dedication that they give, you've left everything in your life. You've left your family to just come here and do this. So I really enjoy that a lot. And what I'd like actually to tell people out there is, when you start right. Start right and think of long term. Think of 50 years from now. Will I still be able to do this? Will I be able to do it with the correct form? Or am I doing it short term with my ego? And then within 2 years or a year, I'm broken. And also invest in your fitness. Find the right people to guide you through that and stick with them. Don't be all over the place. Stick with one person. Walk with them throughout, you know? It's just like marriage. Stick with one person. You know?
That's a great message.
Yeah.
But I think that's so true. Again, especially for something technical like CrossFit and weightlifting, you need a good coach.
Yeah.
And I mean, what better way than, like you say, to start with someone who knows you, who knows your body, what you're capable of, who knows whether they can push you, and to stick with them all through. I think that well, like you say, you've got to invest in your health. I mean, at least COVID has brought that home to a lot of people. Now is the time to do that. And I mean, you kept training throughout lockdown. I think you were at Alpha by then.
Yeah.
Sort of doing online classes. How was that whole period for you?
It was a bit challenging to start off with something new, especially the online class. The fact that I wasn't used to it, but with time I got used to it, and I actually found it so much fun and so much easier. Yeah, so it was a bit challenging, but it's good. It was good for us because people are able to adapt, and yeah, it was good.
I mean, it must be quite hard though to teach something so technical over,
Yeah,
online.
it's so frustrating because as a coach you're used to the physical touch, like I just point out something, give you a cue, maybe physically. So it's harder, and especially when people are at home and some of them just don't care, they just want to move and sweat.
Yeah.
So as a coach you have to at least pull out a little bit and not invest so much with your emotions in it, because it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, no, I mean, even with more simple movements, it's so hard to teach it via Zoom because the angles, you can't see someone, and I mean,
Kenyan internet.
Yeah, the internet.
Oh yes, yes, that's the other thing, the internet. Yeah.
But you're back to teaching now. So, what kinds of classes do you teach? Do you do both the CrossFit and weightlifting?
Yes, so I'm doing CrossFit, weightlifting, and gymnastics at the moment.
Oh.
Yeah, we're also doing gymnastic courses.
That's that to me would be the really hard bit. Like, I can't believe that you can, go from 0 to handstand walks. Like,
I'll sign up when I'm 20 kilos lighter.
You can even sign up now. You can sign up now. The good thing about gymnastics is it teaches you how to be patient. You have to be really, really patient, and you have to be consistent, and you have to pick on one thing to focus on. So let's say I'm trying to get a handstand. I have to dedicate 6 weeks to just working on the progression on the handstand. That's it. Like, you can't be all over the place. You have to pick one thing and really focus on that, and have good progression that will lead you to what you're trying to achieve.
So what other gymnastic moves sort of are there? I know there's like handstand walks. What are the other
There's
ones?
There's the muscle ups. There's pull-ups. There's also the pullover. You got to pull over the bar. There's the toes to bar.
Yeah.
Yes, and then there's also hand push-ups on the rings.
Yeah, that's
yeah. And then there are quite a few movements that we do. We do like the pistol squat, and then the rollover, the forward roll. We used to do that when we were kids.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember. We do that in class as well. Yeah, there's the candlesticks.
Fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds really fun.
Yeah, we do that.
No, I like that whole style of training. I've just never done it. I'm going wrong. I'll come and roll with you.
Come and try it. You should come and try it.
Yeah, no, I used to like gymnastics in primary school.
Yeah.
Wasn't too bad at it then. Now, when you get older, you get the fear. It's the fear factor, like, oh, I'll hurt myself, or I think that would be the biggest thing holding me back. But I just, when we watched the CrossFit Games in 2019, 18, in Dubai,
there,
and just watching those top level athletes like you it's incredible, and you can just see, like, some are good at the gymnastics, some it's the weightlifting.
It's only one person who's good at everything else, Matt Fraser.
I know, right?
Everyone else you could see
there's a struggle.
But honestly, watching the games,
Yeah.
that was inspiring.
And so is weightlifting your strength in all the CrossFit components, or would you?
I've worked on my gymnastics. Before I used to be so bad at gymnastics. But then I've worked to balance the two. So the one that will kill me is if we had the rower. Oh, I hate rowing so much. So if there's anything that had rowing, then that would kill me. But I've worked on my gymnastics and my weightlifting. So at least it has helped me with the sports of CrossFit. So it's just the rowing part that I need to work on.
I remember there was one event that would have destroyed
The
me.
acid bath.
Yeah,
something.
It was a skier,
Oh, yeah.
A bike.
and a bike.
I would have been last. I would have been last on that one.
When they got off the bike, like they couldn't walk. They were
everyone.
like falling over the finish line.
Yeah, because you had to run back.
Yeah.
And some guys were like, you just crawl, and I'm like, how bad is it? Is it? Because you're watching.
You know that feeling.
Yeah, you're
though.
just watching, and you're like,
whoa.
It's intense cardio because you ski first, then you row.
Yeah.
The lactic acid. Like acid bath was the perfect name for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it had rowing, ski, and then biking and all that stuff, and swimming,
oh yes,
So that was the first event, by the way, swimming on the.
I'd pull out. That's why I don't want to go for those international games, because they'll be like, oh, you're swimming and running. I'm like, oh.
Okay.
Like, I'm Kenyan. I'm gonna drown.
No.
I'm there with you swimming. Me, the real black man syndrome here. Swimming not very good. I'll just hang over clear. She can swim. I'm
drowning. No, that's not happening.
Yeah, it's crazy. You have to be all rounded, like land and in water. So time to start working on your swimming.
Okay,
I've started.
Yeah,
I'll get there.
So you're giving competing a break for a while. So what are the future plans?
So my future plans right now is to work on, really focus on increasing my knowledge in the coaching community. And then also just I've started a program that's empowering women into fitness. So those are like my goals for now, like really try and focus on coaching, because I'm thinking 10 years down the line, as much as I'm an athlete now, 10 years from now, I won't be able to do most of the movements that I'm doing now. Yeah. So what's next? Apart from being an athlete, what's next? So I really have to focus on coaching, because that's what I want to do 10 years from now.
And tell us a bit more about the Empowering Women into Fitness project. How does that? So
I'm currently mentoring a few women into being coaches, guiding them through the process, what they need to do, how they need to deal with clients, the courses they need to do to develop themselves. So that's what I'm doing right now.
I love that. And we talk about that a lot, how we'd love to coach coaches, because I think that's the next step here.
Yeah.
Unless you go into, abroad, there's nothing here.
Yeah.
In terms of further learning, and having a mentor is so important.
That's true.
So important.
Yeah, and a lot of people ask and are very, very willing, because somehow in Kenya, coaches, we just have each other in a way. There's really no schools or the government bodies that will cater or do any sort of certification or anything. So
yeah, that's true.
It's the next step.
Yeah, it is.
We're gonna change that. We're working on that. We'll change that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it would just be great to be able to coach coaches and certify them for weightlifting, for CrossFit, for just general personal training. That would be wonderful to be able to do that here, to make it accessible to more people, and to just bring up the standard of professionalism in the industry here. And at least for CrossFit and weightlifting, I think the entry point is higher. But for your average personal trainer,
Yeah,
qualification or qualification. So,
yeah,
so that's at least with the CrossFit and weightlifting, the standard of coaching I think is a lot higher, which is fantastic. And to get more women involved is always amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more in the weight room.
Well, it's getting there. I would say,
It is.
when you look
Yeah.
at your classes at Alpha, it's
yeah. It's actually 3/4 is actually packed with women.
yeah. And I mean, it's
Yeah.
and you always look like you guys are having the best fun.
Yeah, always.
You're having fun and learning skills, getting strong, and again, that's why I like the weightlifting side of things and like getting strong. So you're not always focused on how you look. And I think
Yeah.
for a lot of women, that's so important. And we've talked about it here,
Even
having
men.
performance goals over aesthetic goals.
Yeah, true.
I mean, do you have aesthetic goals, or are you focused on like your strength and performance?
I've never had aesthetic goals because I usually feel like if I'm able to do all these movements, my body will just pay back. It's a bonus for me. If I'm able to do a handstand, if I'm able to do like muscle ups and snatch this amount of weight, then that's just going to be a bonus. My body's going to look good because my performance is what's going to lead to that. Yeah, so I don't really focus more on how I look.
No, and I love that. It's really refreshing. Yeah, aesthetics is just a happy byproduct. And I mean, you look incredible. You look strong. And I think that's such a great message to put out there. Like, work on your strength and what your body can do rather than what it looks like.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, nothing wrong with having aesthetic goals, but when you focus on the strength and performance, like you say, the aesthetics comes. If you're eating right, keeping, recovering right and all those things.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, I think, I love the whole sport. I wish I'd sort of started all of that when I was a bit younger.
I know, that's what I say. Like, I
Yeah.
just discovered weightlifting when I'm 23. Like, I was way old. If I started when I was 9, I'd have been lifting. My snatches would have been at 100 and something.
Yeah, because you can start young. I think people are always scared that, children shouldn't do it. But I mean, they do. You can start young.
Here,
Yeah.
you go on Instagram and you see a lot of even 12-year-olds doing.
I know.
Yeah, because it is skill based. Like
Mhm.
you can practice and practice with a broomstick. It doesn't have to be 50 kilos.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
just getting that form right.
By the time you're 20, you're not scared of weight above your head.
True, that's so true.
But yeah,
That's
it's I think a lot of stuff here we start late. So yeah, it's true. It's one
But
of
that's
those.
it. That's interesting because even Walter said he started his sprinting career
Yeah.
late.
Oh yeah.
You said you've started your career late. I feel like I've started my career late, but
as per say the people you're going to compete against, it's like you like,
Yeah.
but that's why
It's so intimidating.
you starting to spread that message now to sort of the younger generation so that they can see, oh, I can have a career as an Olympic weightlifter here. I can become a CrossFitter. I can become a coach. I can do this. I think it's amazing to create those opportunities.
True, that's true.
So have you got any so you can get 83 kilos of your head. Have you got a number that you want to reach before you retire?
Yes, I want to snatch just 90 kilos. I only want to snatch just 90. I'm not even asking for much, just 90 kilos. And then I should be able to clean and jerk 120. Then I'll say goodbye to weightlifting.
Wow. So
yeah, I'll keep lifting when I'm old, but it wouldn't be that heavy.
It doesn't have to be that. Okay, well, I know you'll get there.
Yes.
No, you'll get there. That's wow.
It's possible. Very.
Yeah, that's like snatching you almost.
Oh yeah, me a few years ago. But yeah. when
you're about
competing.
to compete.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
It is just it is mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. And just one of the most impressive things I can think about. 90 kilos above your head.
Yeah.
Well,
that would be so cool, right? I'll have a champagne party.
Yeah, you just keep us posted, Winnie.
Yeah,
You
that
will-
one. Take a photo
will.
with the snatch and then frame it.
Yes, I will. I will.
Well, that's to build up to that, just slowly. Amazing. Well, Winnie, thank you so much. So interesting to hear your story and about this sport. And hopefully all the listeners will enjoy learning about weightlifting as well. And if you want to learn to weightlift, you know where to find Winnie. She is at Alpha. She has amazing classes there. Do you still do the online ones, or is it all in
We're
person?
still doing them, but I'm not the one in charge of
Oh,
them.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, we will put her IG handle in the notes and Alpha's as well, so you know where to contact her. And just follow her for inspiration and all around amazingness.
Thank you so much for having me. This was really nice. I really enjoyed this. Thank you.
Well, we will
Thank
follow
you.
your journey.
Journey to 90.
Journey to 90 kilo snatch, 120
Yes,
kilo
please.
jerk.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll start with my broomstick.
Yes, please.
Well, thank you, Winnie, and thanks for taking the time to join us. And we are really sorry that Andy couldn't be with us today, but he is here with us in spirit.
Yes.
Sounds like he's dead. He's not dead. Very much like he just couldn't make it today.
Yeah.
He'll be in the next episode, but he was looking forward to talking to you, as we all were.
Maybe next time. Maybe next
Yeah,
time.
we'll get you
Yeah,
back
make
when you
another
get
one.
that 90. You will be back on here.
Yes, please.
Maybe we'll do a reenactment for the YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
We'll have videos.
Yeah, like,
I will.
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.